And one of the reasons why they won't is the fact that if we want to install something, and it's a professional solution, we're going to need some combination, some aspect of these. A server, whether it be an instance in a virtual environment or a physical server, operating system, which are databases, administration costs, the software itself. All of these come for an upfront cost. And while the return on investment for this type of activity from a carbon and from a cost perspective can be extremely compelling, we can see in the blue line the savings far exceed the potential costs within here with a nice break-even point. It's an upfront investment. The smaller the organisation becomes, the higher the proportional outlay at the beginning of the project compared to the ultimate savings. So this is why the larger enterprises have been focused on. It's easier for them to justify it. Not easy by any stretch, but easier. So what can we do? We need to be able to overcome these types of barriers. PC power management is a chore to many IT departments. They don't have the time, and they don't have the resources to be able to focus on this. Not just to put it in, but even to evaluate that this is something that will work for them. So that needs to be overcome. The business case is obvious, but people still want to see the numbers for them. What will I say? What will the impact be to my organisation? So it takes time and it takes effort to build that business case. It's something that people don't automatically do by default. They may have security concerns, like they would with systems management tools. There may be barriers. Now, if we're talking about this from a service provider perspective, trying to provide this service to multiple different customers, if we have to put something physically onto each customer's site, we've got barriers of being able to manage the management solution. So the network itself can become a barrier as well. But definitely organisational barriers. Who pays for this? IT, their budget gets no benefit, in most cases, for power management at the desk, because it doesn't come from their budget, it comes from other people's. So, as an industry, we need to be able to pull together, to help people understand what they need to do to band together to be able to do this properly. To find the people with the interest that people are going to be able to fund the activities that make these types of savings. Because we tend to see these types of objections. Green is a low priority for IT. They're busy keeping the systems running. Unless there is another body within our organisation showing that this is a priority for business. We often see this as the PR department. This could be the sustainability department. You get these in large organisations. You don't tend to get them in smaller organisations. But somebody other than IT will drive it. We aren't paying for it. We can have the best business case in the world, but if nobody can decide who's going to pay for it, ultimately the business loses out. Because it loses out on the savings it will get because nobody's willing to do a budget. Very rarely is a set budget aside for power management. This is a personal non-favourite. We don't need to do anything because we're planning to migrate. Too often I see hardware vendors especially saying that the way to go green is replace your equipment with more efficient devices. 70% of the carbon emissions from a PC is in its production. So, to me that's greenwashing. There needs to be another reason for this. Or they want to go thin client. These are valid ways to go. Long-term benefits, operational benefits, but very often these are simply stalling tactics. This might happen in 18 months, and in the meantime, tons, hundreds of tons, thousands of tons of carbon, hundreds or thousands of pounds worth of energy wasted while they wait for this potential solution in the future. Again, resources. We don't have the time to do this. That's generally related to priorities. And this is something that should never really be an issue. The users won't accept it. Not long back, we did work with a large local government organisation who shall remain nameless. 6,000 devices within there, and they've taken a step to go to a citrus environment because it saved money.